I received my first donation by Kay or Koala Creative in coffee.
Hello everyone, welcome to the blog. So me trying to make it, even if it's part-time as a comic artist. It's a surreal feeling, so thank you so much to Kay for his contribution and to everyone that comments, especially like everything, but especially the comments. It helps so much to see that my work can be valuable to someone. Thank you so much. Also, to be honest, this is MG from the future. I'm editing the video and I'm seeing many video files from the vlog got corrupted. I'm going to try to make a good video right now. Okay, let's add it somewhere.
Already told me everything I needed to know. You liked what you heard? I did. Oh, that's good.
Hey, let's talk about comic artists' weaknesses. I feel that many comics we fail because we are more comic artists than writers. There are many successful comics where the creator hits a wall. And I mean, it's also personal life. It's also that making a comic is such a huge project. It takes so much time, so much effort. It's very important to learn writing and to try to write as much as possible. But it's very hard to draw because you have to draw, you have to market, you have to write. It's so much work that you're probably not getting paid for. Well, at least I'm not getting paid for that. It's just all of that on my free time, and in my free time there's also, you know, working out, buying groceries, like everything else that makes life possible. And many successful writers, they recommend reading in order to write. And even though, of course, I'm biased because I love to read, so I love that advice, and I read comics and books, I do see my creativity flow more easily when I read more. It's like you have more ideas to juggle with, and you come up with your own stuff from those ideas. So, okay, I have a mess here. I wanted to talk about this book. So it's a series called Masters of Rome, but by this author. I thought I was going to get bored, but honestly it's very interesting. She writes very well. She also has this whole section where she has like this glossary of words, and she recognizes what things she invented and what things she didn't, which I love about historical novels. She clearly has like work ethic. And it's also great because it's how a comic can make you grow. Because my story is in a historical period. It's not a historical comic, like I'm not representing any culture or any particular event, even though I do have a couple of historical influences and clear inspirations that I will talk about probably in these vlogs. So my comic is around 100 years before Christ, 100 to 60 more or less. The cultures are invented, and I am actually thinking about adding powder before its time, because actually I don't know if you know this, but in the Middle Ages, I don't even remember what culture, but I think it was China, they invented a gun way before we know it now. Cool things that have happened in history, but then crazy people that do not value other cultures burn it down, which is very sad. Not everyone has the creativity to preserve things while transforming them instead of just destroying them in order to create something new. But it's super fun. Actually, this is called 13 Favorites. Even though the other two books were more about other characters, in this book the main character is Julius Caesar. He's very young in this, and it has certain elements that I don't know if they're true. I'm going to have to check after I finish the historical facts. But it's cool to read about a brilliant, handsome, brave kid who wants to prove himself same as other men his age. My favorite part in this is that he has been named the Flamen Dialis, which is like a type of priest. So he cannot see war, he's forbidden to eat certain foods, and he is forbidden, of course, to own horses. And he buys a horse in secret, and he rides so well in Mars camp that he He can ride with his hands on his back, he can do certain tricks. And I love that. Those things are super fun. I'm loving how he solves his battles. To write my comic, I want the world to be very fleshed out. And it helps to read things like this, which, to be honest, it's still a challenge for me a little bit. But I feel creating a story gives you so much purpose in life and makes everything, learning, so much fun. And it makes learning so much fun. My main character is supposed to be a spy, and at some point I want her to be able to manage ships. But now I'm realizing the age of the ships I was put in were a little bit ahead than her time period. So I either come up with something and I will have to learn about ships, I will have to learn about more war, and I have to learn about battles and historical things that were current to the time. My English is not going to be the best, but mainly it's a visual medium. I want readers to read this comic. I want to make it as clear as possible. Honestly, I'm in love with my story, and even if I do this slowly, I think quality wins in the end. That working on the craft is super important, like to continue with my sketchbook, to continue writing as much as I can. And I don't write nearly enough at this time. I'm focusing on the Webtoon Contest. After that, I will try to have a more balanced approach. Like right now, it's just pages, pages, pages. But I feel that's a mistake I could fall into. Writing is so important to not, especially if you have a very big world, to not make it super complicated for the reader. You have to understand it very well yourself. And I want to make a video about how I write now as a comic artist, because I feel like we all fall in love with making comics and we don't necessarily like to just write. This is one of my very old, I don't know what age I was, but I was very young. Oh god, this is embarrassing. I was older than what I thought. But whatever, stepping stones. But this is one of my early comics. Not actually, I have some that are older, and you can tell. This is what I did, and I didn't share it with the world. This was just to myself, Nobody could see it except me. And I have so many sketchbooks with comics like this. Not edited, not made for anyone except me. But the thing with that is that if I wanted to be lazy about the writing, or I didn't want to draw something, I could not do it, Most of the time. I did put more effort into this one, I remember. The story is a little silly. But like me, there are so many comic artists. We love making comics. We don't know how to write. And then we hit a wall, and there are successful comics that stop publishing, even if they are making money, because they don't know what to do with their story anymore. And that has been me many times. Thank goodness I have been doing comics since I was little, so I know that experience as well. Like, I know the failure, even though nobody saw it. I was the only one that saw it and didn't finish any story. Now that I'm learning writing, I'm also seeing that we need to practice, we need to practice, because learning to write is not the same as actually writing. So because I decided to do YouTube, and I also write for YouTube videos that I produce, only the blogs are a little easier. Not even that, like, files get corrupted, there's so many stuff, And I notice when I have a writing session, I like to read before that writing session, because it like flows more easily. But yeah, that's the importance of writing and learning. And in my case, I need to learn history. I don't care about accuracy, because it's not like I need to know necessarily the dates of things, the names of the parts of the ship. I really want to learn that. I want to buy a book about that. But you know what? Let's first do this contest and then do more writing, even though I love it. I could become very slow, but I think that for the story, it is worth it. my dad and my sister, they are coming with pizza, and I want some. No, they're going to take a while. I should go to sleep. I was trying to be disciplined and not spend all time talking, and I don't want to mess my sleep schedule again, but you know, it's pizza. The plan is to continue doing comics once I get back, because I don't think we will spend that much time there. So I have my envelope for my own stuff. Okay, so this is the page so far, and there's things that I'm adding that are not appearing yet, like, so okay, I have this hand in the map, just 3 words, so yeah, perfect. And then I have this, and I only have his face in this panel. It's like, that's good enough. Also in Webtoon, there's spaces like that, especially if you read Korean Webtoons, where there's sometimes lots of the inner thoughts of the character. And yeah, I have taken breaks, but those breaks are reading breaks, and I have been reading Haikyuu, or this one, yoga and stretches, because my back always hurts. So yeah. Okay, so finally I'm seeing how to fix Clip Studio, because I really want to make a complete substitution of Photoshop because of the price, but I have never been able to find certain things. Also, I hadn't been able to import so many materials, so many brushes, and I wondered why. Like, I never could find any fix for that, and it seems they were just not compatible, and for some reason Clip Studio doesn't open Photoshop brushes like AVR files. To me, that's very annoying. Unless I can find that fix, yeah, I will continue paying for Photoshop, because I don't have time to search like 1,000 tutorials in order to make it work like it should. Oh, funny enough, now my English is better when I'm complaining. Okay, from what I can tell, I cannot, because I have the, thank goodness, the one-time purchase license. I don't have a subscription, but then I think maybe the punishment is not getting the latest version, hence I cannot import AVR files, so Photoshop stays.
Órale.
Also, I may go back to publishing a YouTube video every 2 weeks, mainly to advance with the comic.